It's like saying a Westchester is the same as Manhattan. That's how ridiculous this is. All right. You want to dance, Congressman?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Very well. How are you, Randy?
I'm very proud of you. I'm very, very, very proud of you. I keep saying, that's my congressman. That's my congressman. I was so excited to see what you did on the House floor. Would you like to tell everybody what happened with the WexlerWantsHearings.com website?
Well, yes. We started WexlerWantsHearings.com, which is a call for impeachment hearings, asking people across the country to sign up on our website, putting their name registered as wanting hearings. We're now at 199,500 supporters. So, Randy, if I could ask a favor, your listeners could put us over the 200,000 mark.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yes. That was my goal when calling you today. I saw this morning 198,000, and I thought, we need to get over 200, and we'll do that today. So go to WexlerWantsHearings.com. It's a very simple little name, email, and that's about it, really. And then you submit it, period. End of
story.
That's right.
And
you will then do what with these names so far?
Well, what I'm doing, and I announced it on the floor of the House 2 days ago, I am delivering to my colleagues on the Judiciary Committee a list of all the people who have signed up, and then I'm taking that list, and each day I am submitting to the Congressional Record, publishing in the Congressional Record a couple of thousand names each day. That's what they allow me to do for the next several months, so that there is a record of all of the Americans who signed up demanding impeachment hearings in the official Congressional Record, and I think it's an important beginning.
It is. It's the only beginning I saw. You know, I don't want to get into it with your chairman, but he called me at home last night just to make small talk. I mean, I was flattered, but I don't understand it. I really don't. So I wish you lots of luck on that committee. But, you know, I love the case you laid out. I mean, you laid out the most amazing case. You said that the reason for the hearings was to determine what the evidence is regarding things like manipulating the intelligence, whether or not Dick Cheney did that, whether or not Dick Cheney's office outed Valerie Plame's name for political purposes, whether or not the wiretapping of innocent Americans is appropriate or why it's being done, ignoring subpoenas, claiming executive privilege when clearly none existed. Is there anything I'm missing?
No. I think what I found very informative when I was learning about the history of what had been done during Watergate. What I learned, which I thought was really compelling in terms of why we should go forward, was that the Watergate tapes did not emerge until after the hearings had begun. So for all the people that say it's too late to have hearings, we don't have the votes to have hearings, and you've heard that, I'm sure, many times, my response is, actually, you could have said the same thing right before we started the Watergate hearings. And I was told by people that were familiar with the process during the Watergate era that when those hearings started, all of the Republicans were against any type of impeachment inquiry, and the Democrats were also quite unsure. And it was only when the evidence came out that the truth emerged. And the other thing that I think people don't fully appreciate, this administration, this vice president, has abused the power of executive privilege, and they're going to continue to abuse that power. But in an impeachment hearing, the administration cannot afford itself the executive privilege power. So that is how we get to the truth, and that's why these hearings, I believe, are so important.
I have always believed that they were important for a number of reasons. These I'll add to my long list, and of course, you know, my reason is simple. First, they have to be held accountable for the things that they've done. That's the first and most important reason. I mean, we do this with our children. We hold them accountable for the things that they do, not for what they say, but for the things that they do. Their actions, the things that that they actually do, like wiretapping Americans, or outing a CIA covert operative, or manipulating the intelligence and taking us into war. I mean, you know, who's going to be held accountable for this? I mean, the economy's gone bust now. Today I was watching new housing down to 91 levels, and we all remember how great the economy was in 1991. So
Right.
this time we're going to have a presidential election. It's going to be run just like it was in 92. Instead of it's the economy's stupid, we should just run on it's the stupid economy. I mean, really. But I am, look, Richard Nixon, which I think is the biggest difference between Cheney and Nixon, is this. Cheney would never resign no matter what. I mean, I believe he's going to barricade himself in the West Wing before he'd resign. I would be surprised if he leaves when his term expires. People aren't even sure we're going to have elections in this country.
Right.
And for that alone, we need to find out just exactly were there caging lists and who had them and voter disenfranchisement ahead of an election. These are very important questions to have asked and answered.
And these questions all relate to the precise powers of the vice president, unlike, of course, what was done to Bill Clinton. And the other thing that I think impeachment hearings represent, when you put it in the broader context, this Congress, in my view, needs to enforce the subpoenas that were issued with respect to Harriet Miers and with respect to the President's Chief of Staff, Josh Bolton, because this administration, again, is abusing the power of executive privilege. And I hope by forcing the issue of impeachment hearings that the Congress will be more likely to enforce the subpoenas with respect to Harriet Miers and Josh Bolton, holding those people in contempt of Congress because they failed to appear.
And of course, let's review, because people know that they had been subpoenaed, but they forget why. This has to do with the purge of the prosecutors and I can't say politicization. I can't say that word.
It's a hard word.
It is. But that of the judiciary system, of the attorney general's offices across this country. That's what the subpoenas were for, so that she would come in and testify and Bolton would come in and testify about your speech that day, I'll never forget. You sat there that day and you said, okay, so you were talking to Alberto Gonzalez and he was under oath and you were asking him, so, the president didn't order that these people be fired and you didn't order that these people be fired and Harriet Miers did. So who the hell had the list?
Right.
And he didn't recall.
Well, the other person I think we need to have immediately before the Judiciary Committee is the former White House Press Secretary, Scott McClellan, because it was his comments, I believe, in his book.
That's right.
Wexler, it's not Randi Rhodes, it's not, any Democrat in Congress. This is President Bush's former press secretary essentially saying that the vice president and his staff purposely gave him false information to report to the American people, which is certainly an obstruction of justice.
Yeah.
We need to bring him into Congress and hear for sure what in fact happened and let the evidence lead us where it justly should.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, like I said to you last time when you first put up the website, and I was really proud, but I wanted everybody to be very clear about this because your name's on it, that this isn't asking for the impeachment of anybody. No. This is asking for hearings to determine if there is a case for impeachment. That's what the job of the House of Representatives is.
Well, that's what the Constitution requires of us.
Well, not according to Huckabee. It requires something else.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, we want Sharia law here or something. I don't know. But anyway, I mean, what amazes me? It amazes me that some Democrats still don't want to have hearings because there's only a year left and blah. So great. The Vice President of the United States is running out the clock like a criminal keeping his eye on a statute of limitations. I mean, this is like not cleaning up Simon's little accident in the house because it's just going to dry up. Do you know what I mean? And I should just ignore it. You can't ignore it. Terrible things have happened because of the kinds of manipulations. And, now we have tapes destroyed over at CIA. And we have this whole, I know Conyers wrote a letter to Mukasey, and that's actually what we were talking about yesterday. But, right. Saying, who destroyed this? Who ordered this guy to go ahead and destroy the tapes? You have two different stories. He says nobody told him he couldn't. Now other people in high positions of power saying, oh, no, we told him he could. I mean, we have destruction of evidence. We have email stories in the news today where, there are no emails because we recycle over the tape. What are they talking about? This makes no sense to any fourth grader who understands the internet, what they're saying. And they keep on violating the law. The Presidential Records Act might seem like a little thing, but of course...
They've actually even gone further to try to